Hello again. Now, as we continue with our focus on South Africa's dilapidated infrastructure, we zoom in now on government's district development model, whose proponents believe it provides the framework required for municipalities to tackle their acute service delivery problems. Under this plan, COGTA, Treasury and other agencies supposed to work through district hubs to ensure that municipalities have skills and services that are in short supply. However, with government unable to deal with severe graft and poor service delivery, this plan seems overly ambitious. Researcher Dr. Tracy Ledger joins us now this afternoon to unpack this. Tracy, good afternoon, and thank you very much for your time. You've done quite a lot of work as the Public Affairs Research Institute looking into issues of local government. You've written quite a bit about it and commenting on the district development model. Can I just begin with an overriding question? Is this model the right one? Will it assist to resolve the myriads of challenges of municipalities in South Africa today?
Well, I think, good afternoon, Dan. I think the short answer is no. And that's because the district development model is kind of a solution looking for a problem. And it's very much based on the assumption that one of the main reasons why we have poor service delivery, why we have all the problems with dilapidated infrastructure, we've got an infrastructure maintenance backlog of hundreds of billions of rands in water and sanitation and electricity. And one of the key assumptions behind the district development model is that if we have better coordination between national, provincial and local government, we can in fact have better planning, better implementation and better management. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that better coordination will have some impact, but it isn't really addressing the critical underlying issues of what is going wrong in local government. So I am very sceptical that the DDM, even if it's implemented as envisaged, is actually going to be a magic silver bullet for what's wrong.
Yeah, because when you listen to what's happening on the ground, time and again, for example, we hear about budgets are there, but some municipalities don't spend. You have more than 100 municipalities a few years ago are not spending the allocated budget for infrastructure development. Then on the other hand, you have an issue of competence. That talks to ability. Then you have issues of capacity as well that come up from time to time. There's no planning, seemingly, in some of the dysfunctional municipalities.
Yeah, I think, it sounds really obvious, but you can't have a good solution until you really understand the problem, until you really understand the reason why water of a certain quality is not consistently coming out of the taps of residents in a municipality. And in this country, we tend to be very quick to assume what the problem is. We'll say, okay, well, it's because there are not enough water engineering skills in the municipality, or it's because we have corruption in the municipality. And these are often contributing factors, but they're often not the whole picture. And until we take the time and the effort to understand the whole picture in a municipality, we don't get a good idea of what is going on. So what are some examples of this? So, for example, when you talk about municipalities not spending their budget, especially for smaller municipalities, the compliance with regulation that you have to meet in order to have procurement meet all the regulations is extremely onerous and difficult. And it actually makes it more difficult a lot of the time for municipalities to be able to do their jobs, and it doesn't really do much to prevent corruption. The issue of smaller municipalities being able to access skills within their budget constraints is a huge challenge. And that is then linked in turn to the model that is supposed to pay for all of this, the local government funding model, where the vast majority of money that local government needs for infrastructure maintenance in particular is supposed to come from charges on water and electricity that the local communities pay. But we have to remember that we've got 55% of South African households live in poverty. A quarter of South African households don't have enough total income in order to buy a basic basket of food. And yet we're expecting that these households are the ones that are going to be able to pay enough money to be able to maintain all of the infrastructure in municipalities. So there are complex problems in municipalities, and we're not spending enough time understanding what drives these problems. And our opinion is that there are a lot of serious structural issues, especially around the ability of poor households to actually support municipalities, that really make it almost impossible to get things done.
And I mean, otherwise, if you don't do that, you won't get lasting solution, Tracy. I mean, finally, as you were talking there, I think the ethos of local governance in South Africa, as articulated in various policy documents over the years, post-1994, is around giving the households access to services and delivering those services. But you've got so many households which are poor, as you say, over 55%. And every year, the tariffs have been going up and people are becoming unemployed. So you have to have the political will as well to drive a successful local government model.
Absolutely, and it's crazy that we say we're a developmental state, but we're asking millions of households to decide whether to buy food or whether to pay their water and electricity bill. I mean, this is completely contrary to the transformative role that basic services were supposed to play in people's lives. And our research shows that in sort of the poorest 1/3 of households are spending up to 25% of their monthly income just on electricity and water. So the current service delivery model is actually making households poorer.
Tracy Ledger, thank you very much for your time. She's from the Public Affairs Research Institute, weighing in on the government's district development model, which was approved by Cabinet of Ramaphosa, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, in 2019. 3 years on, still not really happening. So many other factors, of course, at play. But Dr. Ledger makes a good point there. Unless you understand the root causes of what's going on, you will not get a lasting solution. And the district development model, whether or not you like to hear this, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, as a Minister of COGTA, is not going to deliver the answers and the solutions that you are looking for as presented. Something